Uh, you're an expert in marketing strategy. For the layman, can you differentiate what is strategy and what is tactic? How are they different?
Yeah, so I probably assigned to maybe the Richard Rommel camp here. I mean, his book "Good Strategy, Bad Strategy" kind of outlines what this is. He talks about the strategy kernel as being like sort of three things for it to be strategy, and this is before we get to good and bad strategy, which
Yeah.
there's a lot. I think the term has been bastardized a tiny bit by the management consulting industry. So people think it's like this convoluted plan that happens every 12 months. That is
Hmm.
not strategy. It really consists of like a proper diagnosis of the problem opportunity to start with. So that generally
Hmm.
involves some kind of data points or research from the bat. So i.e. where is the signals for this in the market? Then you create like a path, a policy to follow. So that is a conscious decision about things to ignore, and that, hey, we're going to go in this direction and work within this sort of parameter. And this is our general approach to solving that problem or making most of that opportunity. And
Hmm.
that is really interesting because you have to look at constraints and like what's happening in the market and what isn't, and capabilities and everything like that. So all those really high end decisions where we don't have unlimited resources, we
Hmm.
have only so many staff and so much money to spend, and our competitors are doing these things, and if we do the same, then we're not going to get yield. So all that sort of like high level discussion needs to happen. And then the last thing you do is create your action plan, which some people brand as tactics, right? The problem with that is, and action plans are really important. That's where like, hey, we're going to do this by this date, and put objectives and go, track things and assign job tasks to people, and that's the world that I think a lot of teams are in now from that sort of Kanban agile era, is that they're just doing all these tasks, right, on some kind of board or Kanban board or whatever, right?
Hmm.
The problem with that is that in marketing, you quickly realize in an internal position that the number of requests you get and tasks is basically unlimited, right? And it was never
Hmm.
ending. And there's always going to be more requests than there is to do things. So I think one of the key things to know if you're being strategic or not is like knowing why you're doing that thing. Like, is that connected to some sort of like larger goal or group objective that pushes the company forward in a way that the CEO and executives are looking to see and affect the earnings outcome of the company? And if it doesn't, then it's just you're doing something for no strategic reason, basically. So
Hmm.
I think one person's strategy is another person's tactic is very true. These kind of things should cascade down, and like, but they should all come from the sort of like top core in a kind of pyramid,
Hmm.
like an issue tree almost, but a strategy issue tree. So I'm also, when I talk about strategy, I'm sort of talking about cascading layers throughout the organization, and that's kind of what I help companies do.